I'm alive. I'm alive. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing on this cold Tuesday night? And if you guys would in the chat, could you let me know how my audio is? Am I talking too loud? Am I shouting? Or is my audio too low? Hi, Hugh. So we got the good old crew: Dale, Bobby, Dale Palmer, Bobby Lopes, Laura's guitar, Gussie Wells, Blackjack guitar, Zach Long. Very good. Rick Hefner. Rick. Hey, Rick, how you doing, man? We miss you. We miss you, Rick. Where you been? Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I thought I'd change things up a little bit. Um, I like tinkering with things and showing people if I figure out how to do something. I got reverb. Is it really reverb? I shouldn't have any reverb. I don't hear nothing. Shouldn't be any reverb on here. Or hold on. No. I should not have any reverb. Nope. If I do, I'm going to get rid of this wavelength. I don't think it's that. Anywho, yeah, I thought I'd change it up. Like a lot of you know, I recently bought a Mac like a week before Christmas. I just been intrigued by the those new M1 CPUs that they're putting into the new Macs, and I just hear how fast they are. So I thought about trying it. Right. Just I never had one. And I need something. I need a new challenge, right? So I got a Mac, and it took a while, right? Things are, people. There's that, controversy: Mac versus PC. What's easier? Hey, Johnny Kramer. Hey, Dan. And you called. Well, oh, we got the usual gang in here, and hopefully we'll get some more. But anyway, I just been so intrigued with the Mac, and some of the friends we hang out with in Discord, they have some. They swear to them, right? But some things are just not set up out of the box. I mean, for security reason, and that's what Apple's known for. They want to be real secure, right? So a lot of you guys know we use Discord. There's about maybe 10 or so of us. We play around with Discord. We're in a Discord server on mine or somebody or whatever, somebody else's. And one of the abilities of Discord is we can share our screen. We can show people how to do something. Actually, we can share screen and audio. That's audio is going to be another story for another show. But today, by default, when I installed Discord on my Mac, I could not share a screen in Discord. And I know some people had an idea; they couldn't remember quite what to do in the Discord servers. Hey, it's John Weiss. How you doing, John? And anyway, so I finally found a tutorial on how to do it, and that's why I'm just going to talk how easy it was to do it, but we just didn't know where to go, right? So I'm going to put up some screenshots here. Let me switch to my other shot here. All right. So first thing you do on a Mac, let me see if that's showing up pretty good. Yeah, there it is. So that's a desktop of my Mac, right? First, and I don't know if any of you have Mac or not. You may not, but this video will be out there. And if you have Discord installed and you want to screen share, first thing you got to do is go to System Preferences. So that's where that thing I got it. You'll sit there and on the bottom, go in System Preferences right there. And then go into, on the bottom of that window comes up Share, and you click on that. Now, you might get these dialogues. You have to, because Apple, so secure, you might have to log in, like different times. So you click on that sharing thing. It's on the bottom blue folder on there, right? And then you just got to make sure that the next one, you got to make sure that check is under screen sharing. And again, it's going to probably ask you for it may ask you for your password and all this, and you might have an option to save it. You may not, but then you got to go back into system preferences and go into security and privacy, and you want to highlight screen recording, and you'll see whatever app you want to use. And like Discord, I already have that. I put that check in there, so it uses that. And again, you might have to unlock it. Like I said, you see the lock on the bottom left there. Click on it to unlock, and then put your check in there, and you'll be able to save it and put your password in, and that's it. Then after we did that, which was, it took me a couple of minutes to explain it, but it took a while for us to find a tutorial on it, and it was just that simple. I'm not on the Mac now. Probably would have been easier, but I still like, for streaming, I like doing it on a PC for right now anyway. I think PC definitely is better at screen sharing, or doing live streams rather than being on the Mac. So that was it. It was pretty, things are, when you know what to do, things are simple. So let me get my, but hey, Johnny, let's see who we had. John Wiesen is in. Dan in New Jersey. I said that. Brian S. Hey, good to see you here, Brian. Nice to see you. But hey, John, I don't know if you're doing anything. If you want to stop in, if you want to come in, if you're not doing anything, I'll send you a link. John Wiesen. It's very we got some great musicians in here. Some really good musicians. But and one of the reasons I got the Mac was because it comes with GarageBand, and it's got some really good built-in features. Comes with a lot of presets in there, and so I'm twinkling with that, and eventually I'll get something out. I'll do something on that. But I can do I got that set up where I can do live streams on air while I'm doing something Reaper, and you guys should be able to hear it. I did do a video on it, where you did hear. I did make up a little couple tracks with a couple guitars and some drums, and it streams quite well on there. But I'll do that for another time. But that's where I wanted to go with the show, instead of just trying to get something where somebody can come and get something out of it. You can talk about how to do stuff. Now, we all love guitars. And I'll be pumping out. Yeah, Lars Guitars is saying I'll be pumping out tunes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm on that level. Not like what you guys are. All right, let me. If you check your messenger, John, I sent it to your messenger. Yeah, exactly what I was saying, Dan. I was telling these guys, I messed around. Like, I never messed around with a Mac, right? 2 years ago, I bought my wife an iPad, right? Just because they're supposed to be so good, and what I thought was supposed to be so easy. I bought her a Mac 2 years ago, right? She hated it. She absolutely hated it. So I had to go out and get her. I got her a Samsung tablet. I didn't take it back. I just kept it. I thought I would use it. The Mac. I mean the iPad. I used it, but hardly. I didn't really do anything with it. Then about a couple months ago or so, some guys are telling me that we hang around with Discord that you should try GarageBand in it. And I did, actually. I had to get an adapter so I could use them with my Focusrite. And I was only in there a little bit. I got some things going on, but enough to know that I was enticed. Just from a little bit I played with it, I was enticed to just go ahead and get a Mac Mini, the computer itself, Mac Mini with the M1. I went and got that. And so I guess I went to the dark side. So that's where we stand. But now because I've been a PC user, I'm late to using PCs. I didn't start until the mid '90s, where there's probably a lot of users start in the '80s. But I never touched a computer until the mid '90s. Then I got into it so much, man. I took a course, and then I started building my own computers, which anybody with a it doesn't take all you're doing is just plugging stuff in when you're building your own computers, parts in and installing the operating system, which is really nothing to it. But I got the Mac, and like Dan was saying, to get back, it's Unix based. I used to mess around with Linux distributions, which is it's an open source uh, free operating system. They have a ton of different Linux distributions out there, and I would mess with them left and right, whether it be on a virtual machine or uh, stuff like that. And it's very, and I think the Mac is very similar to that because it's like Unix based. Okay, Dan in New Jersey. I was a Q-based user, but quickly abandoned it and left for Logic Pro. Okay. Oh, so oh, look, we got a guest. Okay. John.
Hey.
How are you?
Let me mute the, there we go. I can hear you.
Very good. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Other than this nagging cough for the last couple weeks.
Oh, you and me both.
But I don't feel bad. I don't have no fever. I don't, I was talking to my sister the other day. She says, have you got tested? Oh, no. Should I? I mean, I don't know. But I get like this. I get this like this a couple times every year, way before the virus came around. But maybe I should call the doctors. So how are you? What have you been up to?
Well, tons. Went to Missouri for the vacationing and caught COVID, came home and jumped in bed. But luckily it was on the tail end of my vacation. And I came home, got sick as a dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And I had to play the night that I flew in, I had to play. It was a New Year's gig. And so I did that. That was about a 2.5 hour drive. So we'd been on the plane for 3 hours, and then, hey, you have to get up early in the morning. I got up at like 3:30 in the morning and was fighting that, it was just starting in my chest. And by the end of the day, I was toast, but I didn't even know if I was going to be able to sing or anything, but made it through. Thank God my wife was driving.
Oh my God. Did you have it before?
Yeah, I had it. Actually, I had it when it was really not even nationally exposed. It was like the 2019, about in October. I had the same exact symptoms, and but it all worked out, and I'm fine now. So still have a little bit of a cough every once in a while, but other than that, I'm good, man. So
that's good. Now, are you doing anything music wise?
Well, today, and as a matter of fact, I applied for a job. I want to do some things online. I still want to continue doing that, but there's a performance hall. How communities will have a performance art center or whatever. They needed a production person there, and it looked like I just happened to be at the right place, right time, and applied for the gig, and it looks like I'm in the running to get that thing. So,
good luck.
Might be a good thing for me. I don't know. We'll see.
Now we had you on the show way back before a while ago. Now to recap, so you're living in Florida, but you came from Missouri, and what did you do in Missouri?
Missouri, I had my own theater actually. I had a place called the Tribute Theater, and we did Eagles, and we did CCR, Eagles, Journey, a Southern rock show, which was the first half was like Leonard Skinner. The second half was all the other Southern rockers that, Allman Brothers and 38 Special, things like that. And that ran for about almost 9 years. And we were like in the top 10 shows of that town, and drawing good. But the nut to crack at that place was about 18,000 a month between rent and insurances and BMI and ASCAPs and of course staffing and all that kind of stuff. It was a pretty big animal, and the city actually shut us down, and I could not get at that time. Nobody really knew what to do, so
That's because of COVID, right?
right.
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
shut the entire city down pretty much, and all small businesses were suffering. Especially in the entertainment, because entertainment's designed to bring people in.
Yeah. How many people
And
did you,
not sit. It's terrible to say you got to be 6 or 8 feet apart from each other.
how many
So
people did your theater seat?
about right at about 300.
Wow.
We
Wow.
were jam packed every night. And when it first came down, they said you could have 25% of your capacity, and you needed to keep them, separated. Obviously, I
Right.
think at that time it was 8 feet apart, and you had to, the protocol was that you had to, sterilize everything with disinfectants, the seats and all that stuff, and which we did. We followed that for a couple of weeks, but then the city just they went from that to really freaking out and closed the entire town and told everybody they had to go home.
Well, yeah,
And
it's
I got on the phone with my uh, not my real estate, my landlord, and I said, "Look, I don't know." And he said, "Well, at this point, we don't know what's happening, but I can't let you off the hook, So, because his money, is due at the bank every month too, So, cash flow being what it is, and it's a large part of a lot of businesses, is that you lean on your cash flow to pay your cost of goods sold, and then your profit is on top of that. And we were making good profit. Don't get me wrong. I was doing well. However, the nut to crack was just too great for me to go in and try to support all that for 8 or 10 months or however long. So, me being my age, I said, I, I just don't see it recovering as soon as people are saying that it's going to recover. So thank God I had that forethought, because it did not recover. Here, look at us now. We're going to almost 3 years, and it's still affecting quite a few businesses. So,
yeah, they're starting to shut things down, a lot of things down again, like
and
before.
so I moved to Florida, bought a home, and living the life of basically semi-retire. But I'm too proactive to just sit still. So I started zooming out and getting other people, involved in my life here as much as I could, And Florida by far is the most liberal as far as businesses opening up. There's no mask mandates, that kind of crap
Mhm.
is kind of at bay here more than most states. And
Right.
so me being proactive in production and music just in general, I look for other things to do, and this thing here that I just applied for today is a really good gig. Um, it really has no specific demands on me, other than they're going to try to keep me busy for 40 hours a week, but it's more of a salaried type position. So as the projects come in, I may work 12, 15 hours a day, I don't know, but that's that's going to be this day, but the next day I may only work, 2 or 3 hours. It just depends. So
Right.
yeah. So
Now, now you play guitar,
yeah,
what,
vocals, guitar, produce, a little bit of
keyboards.
everything,
Yeah, I mean, I've heard plenty of your music, and you do have a YouTube. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's We's on music.
Right, and
Yeah.
a lot of the people in chat today, you're a first class musician.
Well, thank you. I
I
appreciate that.
mean, it's just like when we hear you play, like we're in awe. I
Well,
mean,
I
well,
don't know about that.
no, you are. I'm just a
I,
doodler.
I appreciate it. I'm like everybody else that we're a part of. I'm just a a bozo on the bus trying to increase my knowledge base, and
Hmm.
and everybody moves at their own pace. There's no right or wrong to music. We all know that. So,
Right.
and I appreciate everyone that's involved in music. It's tough. Music can be demanding on your time, your energies, and all of that. So you really have to love it for sure.
Right.
But and likewise, I've you and I've been friends a good while now,
Right. Right.
and you play great guitar. You're a
Well,
great
I'm not.
technician, and and as far as your computer skills, this is going to be great for you. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to do a little bit. I mean, I like chat. I like doing hangouts with, multi people, or I
sure.
mean, um, but I like talking about like now we all use Discord. Like, and how good is Discord? I mean, I would
Oh,
like
it's great. Yeah.
I've been using it for maybe 4 years, 60, like since I was 62. But I never used it like this. And then I just mentioned it, just recommended to some of the people we hang with start using it,
Oh
and
yeah.
we've been in there for months.
Well, it
It's
primarily started as a gaming thing, correct?
yeah, it's mainly a gaming thing, but you don't have to use it for gaming,
Well, I tell you, I visited on some really cool um, Discord sites that are music based,
right?
and there's some good communities out there.
Hmm.
And of course we have our own bubble that we've been a part of, and we go in. I'm probably a good collective of 20 or 30 guys that are always in there at one time
Hmm.
or another during the day, and the discussions are incredible, and you have fun, and you're able to share things, and share screenshots of your gear and talk about gear, and it's similar to this, only everybody gets to talk, because there's open mics there if you have a mic, and if you have an open if you have a video, you can use your video on there, and then you can present things because you can share your screen and show what you're
Hmm.
doing and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you've done a lot with your dolls and some of your music you showed
Right,
us,
right.
and it's
Yeah,
really. I mean, you educated me, even though I'll use Reaper, I'll use GarageBand, but still, they still have a relation. They do a lot of the same things,
sure. Yeah.
and you helped me just from watching you. But it's a great tool for guitarists. I know Hacks taught. He showed me how to play some things before, and it's really good for.
Right.
It's a great thing for even upcoming musicians. You will learn how to do something
Sure.
when
Yeah.
you get the right people in
Yeah.
there.
That's the good thing about communities like that. They're, as long as you're not a jerk about things, with people on a consistent basis, we all can have fun and be
Hmm.
jerky sometimes, but you know, uh, people will help you continuously on stuff like that.
Hmm.
They're always open to explore things with you and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
It's
So
funny thing. I did a video years ago, like almost 3 years ago, because I guess used some like software dolls or like Guitar Rig, some software guitar emulators, and it's always when you're using it with a doll, it's always hard to stream that sound, get that sound, especially when
right,
when you're using Osseous drivers, right?
right,
So I was doing a couple different ways. I would just use two interfaces. First, I was doing it on two different PCs, but it would work on the same one. So the one I'm outsourcing from the DAW is just going to like another audio interface or a Mackie Pro, and that I would stream that. That would work. But you
right.
can do it with some plugins and Reaper. That work well. Like this video I did like 3 years ago. So I got a questioner the other day. This guy, oh, he was irate. He couldn't get it to work. It's like 400 milliseconds. I said, that I did that 3 years ago. And I told him I use this Restream plugin with Reaper. That works pretty good. And you still got to set up. Anyways, he's like, really fine. Came to me. He got back to me. I got it to work today. So I felt good about
Good,
that.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just, but I tell you, it was really easy after I downloaded this one program to use and it's called Ground Control Cube that I downloaded for the Mac,
hmm
and it just makes it real easy to stream. Even I could do it while I'm not on a Mac computer, but if I was streaming on the Mac, I could bring up GarageBand. You would hear everything. No, you would hear everything fine. I could play through it.
right.
with Restream, I had an issue. I think I had because you're going through OBS, right? Well, you would be too on the Mac, but I
Right.
think I had 2 instances of my mic going on. I didn't realize it. I think I only did it one time, so I
Right.
had this echo with my mic. Other than that, it was working well.
Well, one of the things about technology and music is that it's never ending, and there's always what I have found. There's always two or three ways to solve problems.
Yeah, yeah.
So one guy might find it in a latency program that he's figured out. I know there's a lot of those that are out there.
Hmm.
And then you have the dynamics of everybody's got different computers, and their processors are different. Some of their BIOSes in their computers are slower than others, or faster than others, or
Hmm.
maybe one has a sound card that's not engaged on their
Hmm.
motherboard, or one that's giving them problems. And so all of those things have to do with how you set up. I'll be the first to admit, as many years as I've been doing this, that boy, when I find something that works, don't touch it. you know,
I
I mean,
think
I mean, I've been doing this a long time, but if it's working, don't touch it. All right, I don't know what I did, but
you're the first one. You're the first one that found out where Discord has trouble sharing. Let's say if your doll's using the Osio driver,
right,
you're the first one that said that.
right.
And if I use the built-in, or even this
On
USB,
certain programs, only on certain programs.
oh really?
Yeah.
Because it when I got an Elgato Wave 3, it
Right.
works fine when I do that.
Right. Hmm.
And
It seems like the older drivers that were in place, like for instance, the way I healed my problem, believe it or not, is I discovered that let me see, this is I bought a Mackie board that's got a little button on it that says when you engage it, it says USB through. And obviously,
Mackie Mixer. I'm
Yeah,
thinking of Mac
a
computer.
mixer. Yes, it's a
Yeah,
mixer.
yeah, that's what I have,
So,
a Mackie Mixer.
but my point is that healed my problem. Is that
Mhm.
it was not using the driver from my other sound card; it was using it from this one.
Right. Yeah,
it
mine
healed the
uses
problem.
just a generic USB driver.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So little stuff like that you discover, and you find out about, and it really, I mean, it's whatever works for your system, and that's important. That once you discover what it is, who cares why? It's just know that that's your system.
Mhm.
And that's the way it works for your system. So
Right. See, we got Ricky Compton's in. Hi, Ricky. How are you? Good to see you here. And Dwight Bailey. Okay. Hey, Dwight. Yeah.
that's
Okay.
one thing that I lack on is recognizing people in a chat. I just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
I'm
mean
good with that.
if
So.
I miss you, don't, it's not on purpose.
And that's another good thing about Discord is that you really don't have a chat this way. You get to do it live,
Mhm.
So you're talking one-on-one with people, and
I just find you so influential. I mean, everything you've done, but your talent, it just, I don't, you can call me whatever, but I'm in awe of people that play well, and do good things. And it's just, I just,
well, like I said, I appreciate the comments, but I don't hold myself higher or better than anyone else.
you just got a comment. Somebody, I think was it Ricky Compton?
Yeah.
Here, Ricky Compton, Weezy, John Weezy, you're one heck of a picker pro.
I appreciate
Bro,
that,
Mhm.
but when I picked up a guitar for the very first time when I was when I was coming out of the service. But I mean, I was familiar with the guitar at 14 years old.
Mhm.
When you spend time with something, and you rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it, you're gonna get better at it. Some of us don't have the time that others do. It doesn't make us, less intelligent or less talented, or or anything like that. You know, it's like anything else. When you're learning to do something, the more time you put into learning that,
But
you
guitar,
know,
real quick, guitar hack. See you later. He stopped in, and Mark, how you doing, Mark? Yeah, I didn't mean to
see
interrupt
you
you, but I
later,
want
hack.
to. Hack was leaving. He's one of my. And Six String Brian is in here. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, Johnny made a good comment. They keep coming up with new stuff that we really don't need and can't even figure out, you know. And I totally agree with that. And the updates, I think that, you know, there was a time when software, and here's a good example. I use Photoshop. I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
used Photoshop. Well, Photoshop, since I started to use it, it was an onboard program. You know, you put it
Mm-hmm.
on your hard drive and you pop it up, and you bought your license and you use it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't do that. You have to use an online version of it, and then they can update it whenever they feel like
It's
it. Same thing with, yeah,
subscription based now.
right.
Yeah.
And but even if you do buy something, you know, let's say you buy a plug-in, a reverb plug-in, and then they want to update it all the time. And then when they update it, they change the face look of it, or maybe you can't find now you
Mm.
can't find the delay time like you used to be able to because the button's not there anymore. They put it over here. That happens all of the time. And then you have the deficit of, okay, computers are getting faster and they're getting, you know, more bang for the buck kind of thing. And so companies they want to go to their old software and develop it for the new, you know, for the new operating system that's out. And we're not going to support the old stuff anymore, and that driver's not going to work anymore. And then,
And
you
you
know,
have to buy the new one. You
that's
have
the
to,
way they
yeah.
force you to do, you know. So, you know, if you've got any software from, you know, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, and it's still working on an IBM based, or, you know, or what I call a personal computer,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still able to use it, just hang on to it, you know, because chances are it's going to work forever in whatever format. And you know, even Windows had a time where you could actually go, it's not working on Windows 10, and then they have a way to revert it back. Okay, we'll see if it works on, you know, Win 98 or you know, Windows 8 or whatever. And they have a function that where you can actually, and then it works, you know, then you can
Okay.
get it to work. Stuff like that, you know, that
I
goes on quite a
use
bit.
GIMP, which is a freeware open source pro. I don't know if it's open. It's a freeware program, and it's very similar to Photoshop. But there's an online a site called Photopea,
Yeah, I've
PEA,
heard of that. Yeah,
and that's even more similar to Photoshop.
right,
And you just do it right from the browser, and that works well too.
right.
And then I've been using my thumbnails, doing my thumbnails. I was using GIMP, but I started using Canva.com. They have a pay service, but they have a free service too. And you can just put they may do a 69 like for your thumbnail and put overlays on it, upload some of your own videos, whatever, and put overlays on it. Just makes it so quick and really easy. I've been doing a lot of stuff in there, and
Looks like Mark Tanner made the crowd here. Hey,
yes, he
Mark.
did. And there's gonna be a premiere tonight. I'm gonna say it right now. You got to listen to Bobby Lope's song. He was in here. He's a drummer. Mark Tanner's singing, and Guitar Hack's playing lead guitar. Actually, Bobby Lips is playing drums and he's playing rhythm guitar, and it's a really good video. It's going to premiere tonight on the Metalhead Hippie Show. So he comes on 10 o'clock tonight. So y'all watch that. Y'all watch that because it's really good.
Well, I have learned so much from people hanging. You know, I like, you know, there was a point in time when I was doing, you know, these live
Yeah,
shows
you
as
were.
well,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I found them rewarding. And then I morphed into integrating the Discord conversations. And some people would talk, but they wouldn't be on screen, and
Mm-hmm.
that was fun too.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a lot more enjoyment, I think, being on the Discord with people and just talking back and forth. Like you and I are on the Guitar Hacks quite a bit,
Hmm.
and there's a great bunch of guys on there.
Hmm.
The Gussies and Bobby's on there all the time, and all of that. And these guys are, these are straight up guys, man. These are people not only in the music world, but I mean, just to have somebody to talk to and when you're up in the morning at 5:30 and having coffee because you couldn't sleep and somebody's on, or Mark's always on. Mark Tanner.
Yeah, I think it's 16 hours later. We're in Australia. Unbelievable. So what time is it now?
But I enjoy
It's
talking to all of them, man. That's
it's
to
like
me,
what,
it's a lot
1:30,
less-
1:35 in the afternoon where Mark is maybe right now,
right?
maybe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. On the other
So,
side of the world.
yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the premiere. I've heard a little bit of it, some of the rough mixes, if you will, or something like that. But I'm excited to watch the final. So
Yeah, it's good. But we do I think Six String Brian is here. I know he's a Mac guy. I don't know if you know what, Brian, that I did get a Mac like a week before Christmas. And it's a learning curve, but I'm getting there. Definitely getting
so
there.
what drove you to want to get a Mac?
Well, we had a couple people. I know Gussie used the iPad, so he got me thinking.
Right.
And even before that, I just know they came out a year ago. They came out with the M1 chip. I just see YouTube videos on how fast it is, and now they got their Pro and the Max. But anyway, then I think Laura's Guitar has one, but I think he's got the older one with the Intel chipset. Hey, Laurie, how you doing? Laurie Mishmash is here.
Oh, there's a girl I hadn't heard in a long time.
And so and that had something to do with it. So and then playing with GarageBand for like 5 minutes on the iPad and said, I'm going to get
Now
it.
that's an iOS thing, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get the Mac, which is the computer. Now they use the same software, but it's still a little different on the Mac than it is on the iPad.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But and I like tinkering. I'm a computer guy. I like tinkering things.
Sure.
But I got frustrated. I mean, you ask the guys in Discord. I'm trying to set up. You have to set up an Apple, make an Apple ID account and all that. And I forgot exactly what it said. It wouldn't let me go. It sounded like it's too many attempts. This is a brand new machine. I could tell it's never been opened, but I took it like maybe too many attempts. Anyway, so I found a number to call, for Apple. And of course, then he put me on music. Well, I went long and the guy came on. But long story short was, I'm thinking I never made an Apple account. I'm thinking because my wife's iPad, everything was done in her name, but I'm thinking way back because I used to fix PCs quite a bit, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had trouble with what's the music thing on Apple? I can't think of the name. iTunes. So I would install it on my computer. Now I'm thinking back, I think I did make an account, and I guess it was locked out because I haven't used it in years. So that's the only thing I could figure. And so I just had to reset the account that'll let me continue. And yeah, so getting a little ticked off on that.
So basically, you got it for the GarageBand and just to have a different format.
I wanted. I'm sorry. I wanted to see what iMovie was because iMovie's built into. See how good what that is. That's very limited. It was, I guess it's kind of similar to Movie Maker when Windows had Movie Maker.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So they have their version,
Gotcha.
And you can only put like 2 video tracks on it. It took me 10 minutes, and I think I had it mastered.
Gotcha.
I don't have it mastered, but it didn't take me long just to figure it out. Gotcha. But what it does have better than it had a lot of preset text presets, what I did like in that. But you can't move a lot of stuff. It's very limited. But I use DaVinci Resolve, and I'm really fine with that. That's really cool.
I haven't learned that one quite yet. A lot of people talk about it.
You can do a lot with it. You can get really technical. You can do they use it to make movies. Now I have the free version, so obviously it's limited with some things, but it's only like $300. It's I think it's the same price as Final Cut on the Mac is. But it's I can still do a lot with it. But if you want to build some composite stuff like animation stuff, it's it can get really you have to take your time, learn how. I don't mess with that too much. It's called I forget the name what it is when you want to do the fancy stuff in there. but I just basically stick with the easy stuff, and it's fine. It's great for that.
You want to get caught up on your chat real quick there?
Yeah. Said hello, Laurie, and yeah, Johnny. Oh, Les Nagy dropped by. Hey, Les, thanks for stopping in. And I don't know who. And we got a troll in there, but thanks, Mark. You took care of it. Yeah, so we got up to 19 people. Very good. Because I didn't know how the turnout was going to be, because I'm different. People might, it's not going to be all about tech. It's going to be some of the same stuff.
Sure.
Just talking, but I want to talk, just like how about, whoever wants, I'm not saying, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do this every week, because
Gotcha.
you want to come up, you don't want to be, I don't want to bore people. I personally don't like to go more than an hour, because people will get bored. It doesn't matter what you say. I think an hour is a good time. Well, there's this tech guy I've been following he's been doing a podcast for probably over 15 years now. And I got it from him. He's a network guy, computer guy. And he says he never goes over an hour, if that. He'll do it less than that.
Yeah.
And that's what his thinking. People tend to get bored after an hour. And I mean, I have friends of mine, they'll build computers, right? He might be doing a stream for 6-7 hours. I can't watch it for the whole. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I can see if you're trying to learn, you're going to watch it. But I can't watch But he's very popular. I mean, I've been in there where he's had 1,000 people watching him, or
Yeah.
yeah, in his chat, he gets a ton of super chats. But I think an hour is a good time.
Right.
All right. BV. Maybe I should go to the call the doctors. All right, BV Ninja's in. How you doing, BV Ninja? I think he's a Canadian. Sleuth Mitch and everyone. Mitch, do you think it is because you're familiar with VC, you like it better for live streaming? We use Max for the pedal show. I streamed with it once and it worked all right. My camera's a little funky. See, with the M1 chip, and you probably know this, some things are not working right. So you have to use because everything was still, a lot of things work on the Intel platform when they were using Intel chips. So a lot of things you have to use this, what they call the software called Rosetta. It works in the background because some things are not natively designed yet. I mean, they're doing it. They're switching things over, because I think Discord is working with. I have to install Rosetta to get this Discord, and it makes it like it works like it's a Intel based computer. But you don't see anything. It's still fast. But no, I might use my Mac, but the time I did it, I'm just using a C920 BV Ninja. I can't even read, but it could have been a little smoother. But I think it's because I have everything going into a hub, but I can move that camera, the webcam, to just to one of the USB ports on there and see if it changes. Because I know I had this one camera I bought. And I have, like, I'm on a AMD Ryzen computer here, a high-end one. Then I have a little lesser one that I built a couple years ago. I have this supposedly a 4K webcam. It's just an off-brand one, but it works decently. But when I put it on the other computer, I was getting these like artifacting. It was and I started playing with it. Then I found a channel where it didn't do it, but I thought it was a camera, but it did the same thing on here until I found a USB port, and it's got to be USB 3.0 for that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the camera. It's just you had to use a certain USB 3.0 port. So, but I'm going to BV Ninja. I am good. I'll stream again on there, but everything is so simple on here, and it's just I have the way this, what I do every week. Oh, Jamal, how you doing? So we got Jamal in here.
Jamal
from
Kareem.
I think he's from Texas, I believe.
Okay.
Laurie Mishmash is having what's your next class or tonight? It's going to be like a Brian Sester type, Brian Sester from Stray Cat.
Oh yeah.
Like a vibe like that.
Right.
And I told her, I'm thinking about it. I like that rock around the clock tonight. I can do it pretty good, except for the one. But I can skip that part, and I can, even on acoustic guitar, it sounds good. I can play it around. So I was thinking about doing something with that and submitting it for Laurie's show.
Right.
Hey, James Miscellaneous. He's a tech guy. He's in here that I've known from. We met on another channel, but he knows some of the other people in my tech circles. He's a good tech guy, and he only lives like around the Philly. He don't live too far from me. So yeah. But it's like now. I remember now. You just recently got a new computer. You had some problems, but I directed you to another friend on BrightTech09.
Right. Yep.
And yeah, I've known him.
They set me right up.
I've known him for probably 12 years. I've known him. Yeah. And he's out of the UK, but he's got a lot of good people. He's a really good tech guy, and he puts out stuff continuously because I think he's got over 500 subs right now, I believe. And he's been doing it a while. Where his videos, he'll build some stuff right now. He'll build computers, but he'll edit it. He's not going to be 6 hours. He might be less than an hour building a computer because he's going to edit.
Where I know 500,000 subs.
500,000. What did I say? 500,000 subs. Yeah, he's got a 500,000.
Yeah, he's got 500,000 subs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I visited his channel. You referred me to him, and I think probably within 2 days they had me set up and ready to go with a brand new computer.
Yeah, you figured your motherboard was bad or something.
Yeah, they finally helped me to understand that the motherboard that I was using was probably shot. So
I got to tell Jamal was asking this because I guess you just got in here before. What was the deciding factor in buying the Mac Mini? Because for the last year I've seen so many videos how fast this M1 chip is. And that was the main reason.
He had a dream. In the dream.
I had a dream. And because
Steve Jobs was in the dream, and he came to him.
I'm not one of these PC builders that overclocks all. I don't even know how to I could overclock a little bit, but I was never worried about overclocking. But I still like tech. And then the M1, and there's a couple guys in Discord, they swear to it. They have Macs, and I said, I'm going to give it a try. What
it felt like to walk the stage barefoot.
Have you ever messed with one at all?
Yeah, I had a Mac Mini when they very first came out.
Oh, so you know, okay.
And my daughter has Macs. I actually have what do you call those? The MacBook Pro. I have her old one. I've just never done anything with it because we just upgraded her last year because she does online college and she really needs a good monster computer.
It is small. Pew Callboy. Let me see if I can get my camera. Let's see if you can see that. I think I'll show you how small it is. Look, compared to my hand. Look, here's my hand.
That is little.
That's it. It's a little bit bigger in my hand. It's like about 8 by 8 by 9, something like that.
Now, how much?
Very small.
If you don't mind me asking, how much
it was too much. It was, I think, $860 or something like that. I paid.
Well, that's
for
not bad though, really.
No, but here's the best. This is the M1 Mac Mini M1 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, right?
Yeah, there you go. You're cutting the top of your head off.
But they had the 8 gigabytes of RAM for like $300 cheaper, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted that extra 16 just because in case I start doing video editing, I probably didn't need it. But if I want to do video editing on there, I got
now the M1 chip is comparable to what on the
PC? I think it's comparable to an i9.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I'm not sure. They're you have to. I haven't really compared the specs, but I think it could be. I mean, now they have this year they came out. That was the first version. They came out with now the M1 Pro and the M1 Max are a little faster. I think like more on board built-in RAM or so. I don't know. All right. Yeah. Okay, Brian's you got a 64 RAM, but you've had yours, Brian. You don't have the M1. You got yours has the Intel chip in it, all right? I would think, unless you upgraded. But they can be really expensive. Yeah. You think the M1 is faster than the i9? Yeah, I'm telling you, like I'm on this Ryzen 3800X that I built 2 years ago, or did it? And this is a pretty fast machine. I think the iMac's got to beat. Yeah, I mean, I did something there. What did I do? And
Lori, I'm going to kick your butt. Did you hear what she just said?
oh no,
Tell Weezon hello since he can't read or chat or wants
I
to
missed it
ignore
too.
me. I mentioned you when you first came in the room, girl.
You did. He did.
Yeah, I've been out of pocket. A lot of people said, "What happened to you? What happened to you?" I visit on Discord, but I've been really pretty much absent from the online live stuff. This is the first time I've been live online with anyone for
Right.
a long time. So, but
I'm
no, I
glad.
miss you, girl. I miss
I'm
you,
glad
girl.
you. I'm glad you. I appreciate you coming in too.
Yeah, I just I'd like to say I had a lot going on, but really it's just I spend time with my family. I like doing that. Went to on my vacation. We planned for that for weeks in advance, and had a great time when I went back. Of course, you go when you're from Florida and it's green and palm trees and it's nice every day. Yeah, I want to tell you it's 76.8 degrees out right now or whatever.
It wasn't a 71 today where it
Yeah,
was. I
and
think. I think
you
it
know,
got down to 14 or 15 last night
I
here. Where I'm.
remember making fun of Floridians that would come to Branson and it would be cold. But to me, when I was from Branson, it wasn't cold at all. It was like 45 or 50 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
They would come there and go, "Oh, they had their coats and everything." And I would laugh at them, But when I went back, I was that guy, I was that guy that was so used to hot all the time that I was freezing to death, and it was like 65 degrees outside. So I thought it was funny. So
Yeah, but
anyway, I enjoyed it. The only thing that I didn't care for is all the tree. I forgot what winter looked like, and it wasn't snowy or anything, so it was just a bunch of bare trees or twig looking things out of the ground, and it was winter. And I remember always regretting winter. They say that everyone goes through emotional changes through the seasons. Winter was my worst. I didn't like winter. It
mhm.
just tied you up at the house all the time, and the trees didn't look good. Everything was either brown or dead, or so I didn't like that. So that's one of the things from Florida. I don't get that. So
Everything's green.
it's always green. And
I had not flown in years. Like in 2005 was the last time. Last time we flown, and mainly I would go either to Vegas. My parents retired to Vegas, or we would go to Florida. But I remember like you're going to Vegas and you get to a certain spot if you're not doing the red eye, if you're in the daytime, you don't see any green. It's all brown, And then when you come home, go east, and everything's green here. We get rain, and then out west,
right.
You see all that brown. But
yeah, it's definitely a paradigm shift to go back and to see the old stomping grounds. And I saw my old theater too, and they're putting in a new business there too, and it was
really?
It was all open, and they just they're making it a bunch of different rooms and stuff like that. That.
Now, did you think about like maybe just staying there and just when things were over, open up another? No, you're done.
No.
You're done with that.
Yeah, I still have all that gear and stuff, and in fact, I'm
glad you brought that out.
I'm talking
gear.
to a guy right now that he's actually making some motion that he's got a sound company, and he's located. I think he's located not quite central U.S., but not quite East Coast, like Indiana or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but he books a lot in Florida. He books a lot up at the East Coast, and he has rigs all over the place. And he's he hooked up with me and found out about me from some place I don't know. And we've been talking back and forth about me coming on board and doing some Florida shows for him, and I mentioned to him all this gear that I have, and he's like, "Okay, let me know what you have, and if you want to sell any of it."
All right, okay, that's a good point. Gear. How many Les Pauls do you have roughly? If you can remember the exact count. You don't want to say that. You don't want to say that.
I don't know. I'd probably have 30 or 40 or so.
I love it.
Stupid.
But
I know.
It's because you had a business. You supplied them. You supplied for your musicians. You supplied the music.
It was either take that profit from that business and stockpile it and get taxed on it, or to buy things that I could use as a tool of my trade, and you can take it off on your taxes. So I did that with all of my gear. I mean, I had an immense amount of gear, and that's how you do business. So honestly,
Right,
if
right, right.
you run your business correctly and you want and you have a passion like I do, then you invest it in guitars and gear. And like I've got an incredible studio. I want for nothing. I will tell you, I am a
Hmm.
really spoiled individual when it comes to music gear and things like that. I've got things I've not used for years, and I bought it because it was an investment,
Hmm.
and that sounds really, really bad because I know there's a lot of guys out there that
Look at
don't have
Gus.
things,
Look
but
at Gus. He said.
I know. He's probably spanking me right now.
But you
But
have
anyway,
you do
it
have a
kept me from
collector's item, don't you?
it kept me from paying Uncle Sam the money, So
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, you're doing what's entitled to you,
yeah,
tax
the
wise and all that.
the
Yeah.
collector thing that I have, the most prized possession that I have is it's considered a '59 Les Paul now, but it originated as a '54 Gold Top, and it
Hmm.
was remodified by a guy named Chris Marabella, who is very famous. He did all the guitar work for Pete Townsend of the Who, and he even repaired the number. I think it was number 3 when he was over here doing a tour, and the neck broke. He sent it to Chris, and Chris fixed it all up and all that. But anyway, point being is that he did all of the conversion on it, so it has the original period correct everything on it for 1959, including the pups and the tuners, anything that's in that guitar was on a 1959, and it's worth quite a bit. I'm not going to lie to you, it's worth quite a bit. But before I actually took the plunge into spending that kind of money on a guitar, as a collector, I would spend my money on the series that they called the Collector's Choice, and that was where guys that actually owned the original '59 bursts would send those bursts to Gibson, and Gibson would molecularly replicate those guitars. And
Mm.
so, a good he became a friend of mine. Tom Whitrock is a really well-known Les Paul aficionado, and he and I became friends. And he had two specific guitars that he sent to Gibson. One of them was called the Donna, and the other one was called the Sandy. And the Sandy was a very, very, very popular guitar. And the Collector's Choice series on that was, I mean, I don't think you can even find them right now. If you can, they're very expensive. They're probably in the 20,000 range. And I was able to find one, and I found one in Japan and got it. And then I have a Donna that was the first Collector's Choice that I bought. And then from that point, I bought several other Collector's Choice.
Hmm.
That was I don't know, that was my passion at the time, was to get some of these Collector's Choice. And then I sold a few of them so that I could buy the conversion. And I ended up with the conversion at a pretty decent price. Now it's worth probably 25 to 30% more than what I paid for it. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. And they're pricey. I mean, they can get up there. So I'm pretty I'm proud of my stack.
I know you probably mentioned it before. What amps did you use for your when you were?
Well, when I did stage work, I always went direct. I
Okay.
had the GT 100, but my amp of choice has always been, believe it or not, the Tuck and Roll Customs. Um, I owned a 100 that was had the two, I believe they were two 8-inch JBLs,
Oh,
either
okay.
8 or 10-inch, and I owned that for a long time, and I do gigs with that thing constantly, and I just loved it. It's just it's solid state. It's not tube,
Oh, really?
and it's just a very pure, 1970s solid state that they just don't make them like that anymore.
So, so-
And when I was about 15 years old, I remember my big my big vision at that time, that I was salivating as a very poor, teenager, in having a gold top Les Paul and I wanted the blue tuck and roll that stood up to my eyes at the time. And they had one at a local music store. My dad even took me to go look at it one time. It's too expensive for us to afford, but I'd always had my eye on those. So when the opportunity came, I bought a couple of those tuck and roll amps. So I do own a blue tuck and roll and a gold top.
Oh,
That's it's a 19, from my era, it's a 1971, and it's got the mini humbuckers and beautiful patina, and it's a beautiful guitar. And I played that combination for the longest time, just for the nostalgia of it, And but if I did serious live gigs, I always shaped my sounds and pre-programmed those and stomped the box and got the sound I wanted, for whatever particular song that I was doing.
Do you remember? I had a custom. It had two 15 inches. When they had the plush look to it, do you know what I'm talking about? It had a plush. Yeah, it was. If I was two 15-inch Jensens, I believe it was. It's tube.
Yeah,
but just real clean sound. Didn't have.
You're not talking the tuck and roll, huh?
I don't know what it was.
Tuck and roll is where it looks like it's just like it's got a lot of sparkly fabric to it. It's like real. It's naugahyde is what it is.
It had a sparkly thing to it. It was like vinyl or something.
That's called tuck and roll. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what it was called. Yeah. I had a Univox. I had a Univox Les Paul. Univox amp, and it wasn't good, but it was heavy. Yeah.
I don't. Days of Fuzz Face and all those.
Don't miss me with that. But I started getting better equipment when I got the PV amps. I had a PV Deuce. I don't know if you remember that. It had a tube, and it did have a couple tubes in there. That was probably the best amp I ever had.
Right.
But I might have had some fenders, some tube fenders. I can't remember. I had Stratocasters back then. I maybe paid $500 for used American ones, and I didn't keep it because I got back into guitar playing like 2015. I probably didn't touch a guitar for a couple periods, like 10 years. I probably didn't touch a guitar. Then I said, I'm getting ready to retire. I'll see, see if I can improve any. And I call myself like a 50-year newbie playing guitar.
There's a lot of guys that have started in their 40s and 50s. And that's a good thing, because I've always been one to say that guitar is something, it's like a bicycle. Once you start to know how to ride it, you can always, be the one that does the fancy jumps and all that stuff eventually, but you learn how to ride it, and you're not going to forget how to ride that, and that's the same thing with guitar. Once you learn it, you've got it learned. You can't learn a D chord forever. You can always go back to it. You know what that is.
Yeah.
And you may get a little rusty from time to time, but you get back on and you jump on, and boy, nothing flat, you're right back.
I think 1969 is when I first started playing.
Yeah.
And I probably taken maybe 6 months of lessons combined, if you want to count throughout the years, like a couple weeks with this guy or a couple, but I should have stayed and I didn't. But now I'm learning a little bit about theory and teaching myself. And so anyway, all right, we've been about an hour. So that's what I want to do, about an hour. And I hope everybody enjoyed it, because John, you have a ton of stuff to say, and you could go. I mean, I enjoy it. I just love.
I'm a motor mouth. I'm sorry.
Oh, here's a question for you. Does John know my friends? Here we go. You can read that. It's from a BB Ninja.
I know of Vic DePra, and I don't know about. Oh yes, I've heard of Charles Daughtry. They've got great burst collections. One of the things I didn't mention is that on my two, the Sandy and the Donna, I took all of my guitars to Tom so that he could evaluate all of them and put a price tag on, which he did for me graciously. So, for insurance purposes. And, but he, we kind of chuckled, and I said, man, I didn't want to ask him. He said, you want me to sign him? Don't you sign the guitar or sign the paperwork on it? And they give you, I don't know if you've ever seen the collector's choice, but they come with a fold out book, and there's a paragraph, and it's got the name of the guitar and all that stuff. He signed both of those for me,
Really?
He owns the originals. So Well, he no longer owns the Sandy. That went to another gentleman in the Orient that bought it from him. I believe he paid mucho dollars for that one, but I was kind of surprised to hear that he let it go, but he did. He said it's time to move on and give somebody else the joy of the guitar. So, but he did sign both of my documents, and that was huge for me. It was what a great guy, to give me that signature on those, so.
Very good, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Don't
Hey,
go
thanks
nowhere.
for having me, man.
Yeah, I appreciate. Don't go nowhere. I'll sign
okay.
off. But thanks for joining us tonight. And I wasn't sure what kind of, because of the different format, I probably got just as much as I normally get. We're right close to it. So, guys, have a good week. And I'm not sure if I'm doing this every week, but maybe I already got something in my mind what I want to talk about next week. Like I had to get the audio work on the Mac, and when you're streaming, which I did. So, all right, guys, have a good weekend, and we shall talk to you later.
He's asking on the Discord where he can find it. We've been going to Guitar Hacks Discord, really.
Yeah, mine nobody comes in here, but I'll get back with you on that, Zach. So,
yeah,
y'all take care and be good. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
Maybe.